that saved a wretch like me. You're here, I'm pleased, I really feel your company. Your style, your smile, your pace mentality. Lord, have mercy on me. I was blind, now I can see what a king's supposed to be.
Excuse me, miss. I was in the waiting room when you gave your testimony. And what I realized is that we have an enemy in common. While you were being called to the office again, I was being put out the only home I've ever known. While you were shaking with anxiety and fear over something no one ever wants to hear, I was shaking in dread. Because we all know what happens to little girls that have no home and no one to claim them. I think our souls passed each other by. See, my soul left me a long time ago in a dingy motel room, ripped away by brutal force. It fled, unable to find its way back home.
Historical people, who would you want in your seat and why?
Wow. I guess because I'm different. You know, I'm not really starstruck. And so it would be hard to really pinpoint anybody in particular. First person that just came to my mind, you know, I mean, if I had an opportunity to cut Denzel, you know, I would.
That's a good one.
I'd do that.
That would be a dope conversation.
Exactly.
How important is diversity in your work, considering you grew up in a bilingual, bicultural home?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important. I think at this point, just in society, there's just so much diversity. You know, whether it be in language, whether it be in your upbringing, whether it be, you know, in whatever that is. And so I think growing up in, you know, a bilingual household as well as really a bicultural, despite the fact that, you know, my parents are you know, both of Hispanic descent, but growing up in two different cultures of, you know, very traditional values in the home and very different, and sometimes similar values, right, outside of the home, but in different ways, right?
Yeah.
And so,
he tests those whom he loves. I pray he continues to love me till my death. I pray he continues testing me and testing me and testing me until I have no questions left. Until I can ingest knowledge and choke on lies and spit out truth with every breath. But you see, until love for what he loves and hate for what he hates is the only thing that's left within my chest. I know that I will constantly fight to love what's right because I was created with a heart that sits slightly to the left. But I'm okay with that. Because I always knew and always know that he knows exactly what is best. You see, he knew that it would only be a matter of time before I would open my eyes and finally realize that I needed to look deep down inside and pull out the divide so that my heart and my mind would collide and learn to work together.
What's going on, my good people, for Seal and Everman family online community? We are back for another fire amazing episode. This is Ordinary Conversations with your host, Willie Beeman. But I am here to introduce our guest host for the month of June and July, Miss Adrian Knox, aka Mama Knox. Hand claps, please. And then on the left of me, our guest for today, Miss Sheran Keyton. It's gonna be a great interview, but I'm gonna get out the way and let this interview go on. Make sure y'all follow our social media pages and stay tuned.
Thank you. To all my Facebook guests, social media friends, it's a pleasure to be here doing my first interview. They set me up with a wonderful guest, but usually when I start an adventure, I just want to open up with praises and prayers and an extension of what we know should be a blessed journey. And so, if y'all will engage with me and let me just say, ex God, oh Lord, come in this situation and bless us as we put out positive information out through social media. We know that that platform can be one that can be sort of turmoil that sometimes, but we just hope that the messages that are sent will be inspiring to someone. And in Jesus' name we pray, and y'all continue this journey with me. But today, y'all, let's give it up. Amen. Amen. We have with us one of an influential person that I've grown to know, and this is Sheran Goodspeed Keyton. And I hope I said it right, and I'm quite sure if I didn't, she'll correct me. She's an actress, professional singer for over 35 years, and she must have started in the womb because she doesn't look any older than 35. So she's toured nationally and internationally, and she's still on, that's an ongoing thing. She's a business owner, producer, directress, and I'm quite sure as we continue on our interview, she'll tell you more about herself. Y'all give it up for Miss Sheran. Yay. Miss Sheran, now what is going on right now? What brings you is Fort Worth one of the places that you reside in?
Yeah, so I've lived in Fort Worth my whole life,
Okay.
up until last year. I moved to Chicago.
Oh,
So I've lived here my whole life in Fort Worth. Went all my schools, college, everything in Texas in Fort Worth, and I moved to Chicago for a job, and
Okay.
so that's where I live now. But I'm actually in Texas right now because my storybook character, Mrs. Dipsworth, is doing her spring and summer reading tour, and I will always serve this community. I will always be an active part of this community. So we are here in Texas reading to all the children.
Oh, that is so wonderful. But can you tell us what made you gain an interest in just performing? And I know you have to have a love for it. You've done it a long time.
Yeah, church,
Church, okay.
church, and then just being a connoisseur of television and movies and stuff as a child. I always knew that that's what I wanted to do. And so that's really kind of how I got into it. A real funny story that I tell periodically. At my church, in order to sing in the choir, you had to be baptized. And you couldn't get baptized until you were 5, I think it was. But you had to confess your faith in front of the whole church. That was part of the process. So I was somehow allowed to do it when I was 4 instead of 5. But you have to tell the pastor, he'll ask you, what do you want to be? And you say, I want to be saved. Where do you want to go? I want to go to heaven. That was the child version of, do you believe within your heart, that Jesus died on the cross for your sins? And then he asks you those questions. So on the day that you are supposed to get baptized, you go to the back and they kind of prep you and make sure you understand what you're saying. And then they bring you out in front of the whole church. And they bring you out in front of the whole church, and then they ask me, he said, do you believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross for your sins? And I was like, yes. And he was like, what do you want to be? And I looked at all those people, and it was a modern day mega church back in that time. It was in the 70s, but we had a lot of people and it was lights. And I was like, I want to be a superstar.
Okay, all right.
And my mom was so embarrassed, and he was like, where do you want to go? So I was supposed to say I want to go to heaven. I was like, I want to go to Hollywood. And so, needless to say, I did not get baptized that day, but I did get a whooping.
Okay, okay.
But
you knew.
I knew
in your heart
since I was 4 years old.
You weren't discounting Christ because you knew where he belonged in your heart, but you knew what you wanted to do.
Ever since I was 4 years old.
That is wonderful that you pursued a journey toward in that direction. Okay, so what project? I noticed that you have a character that you've already built that you introduce, and that's part of how you educate kids. So what project or accomplishments, that were most significant in your career when you created your character?
I think I think two great accomplishments. I think one was being accepted to the Texas Commission on the Arts, Texas Touring Artist roster. And essentially that gives you so many resources on how to market and just other things, but also gives you grant support to be able to take your character to various nonprofits in Texas. And that was important to me because that showed me that the character was viewed as important and essential, right, to an agency that was actually willing to put their money where their mouths are. And that allowed me to be able to do work that I had been doing for almost 10 years for free.
Okay.
So wear and tear on my body, my finances, my budget, right, my household income. But now someone is saying, we believe enough in this character and the mission of this work to put money behind it. And so that was real significant. And then 2 years ago, Mrs. Dipsworth Universe became a LLC, and her image, her name, her story time, everything is now trademarked. That means nobody can take her from me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So I would say those two made me excited.
Okay, well, that's an exciting time, isn't it? Okay, how did you come up with the name Miss Dipsworth? Get off into that. That's the name of the character. Tell us about Miss Dipsworth.
So that you said my name perfectly. Most people don't, and you said my character's name perfectly. She is a really whimsical, funny, grandmotherly fairy godmother character. She is very real and very earnest. I patterned her after all of the aunties in my life, my mom, and just all of the old aunties who will love you and hug you and also pinch you under your arm fat and tell you like it is.
We remember those.
And you listen to them, right? You remember what they said. And so she has kind of that effect. Also just kind of the magical sparkles and fairy dust of the stuff that kids like. Kids like stuff that's magical and that seems outside of their reality. But I created her because early on in my volunteering in the school district and dealing with my own son who had special needs, I realized that kids, particularly Black and brown kids, but all kids, sometimes have problems reading and then comprehending what they just read, retaining the information that they just read, or even understanding in context. So when my son got in trouble at school one day because it was a math equation, but it was a word equation, and it was referencing a beam. Well, my son is a theater kid. He's been with his mama at rehearsals. So all he knows is a beam of light. So he was like, how do you measure a beam of light? So he wrote something crazy as an answer, and he got in trouble. He never has been exposed culturally or otherwise to a beam, like a pole. As you know what I'm saying? So it's about increasing vocabulary, increasing retention, increasing those things that help kids who might not normally engage with certain vocabulary. Right, depending upon where they come from, how they grew up, but getting them to read more and retain, that. So that's how I came up with her.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Sometimes those things can be culturally biased.
Yes.
And because, your son had a different experience and it was written a certain way. So that's
absolutely
good. That's good.
That's exactly what it was.
Bless you to have that experience for that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. What are some of your strengths you think that might have helped you to even persevere, and weaknesses? And weaknesses.
Ooh, and
There are
weaknesses.
some things that.
I think my greatest strength is this really kind of God given discernment / empathy, right?
Okay.
So I see needs. I'm not gonna say greater than other people, but I see needs in a great way. Like I
Okay.
walk into a space or I interact with a person or a group of people, and I see needs in a great way.
Okay.
And God gives me this discernment on the to do or not to do.
Okay.
But so just kind of having that empathy too, of even if I'm not struggling with that thing, somebody else might be struggling with it, and I'm blessed to be a blessing. So how can I use anything that I have at
That's
my
right.
disposal, right, to help somebody else? So I think that that's my greatest strength, and the fact that well, oh, this is a strength and probably a weakness too, but but listen, no is just not an option for me.
Oh, that's
And it's been like that since I listen,
right.
the amount of whoopings
Okay.
as a child, because no was always has been to me not yet.
Okay.
Or no, not exactly like that. Right.
All
So
right.
no has always been not really a thing. And I think that's a strength. And also though I think that can sometimes be a weakness, because sometimes I think I just go, 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 right? People say, can you? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there, you know,
Okay.
or, you know, you shouldn't do this. It's too expensive. Don't worry, we're going to make it happen. You know,
That's
I'm going
wonderful.
to produce this. I'm going to, you know, so it's a superpower, but also it can be my kryptonite. So,
Okay, no, that's good. See, I noticed how you were giving me some feedback and some encouragement, because you know that this is my first time doing a
yeah,
podcast, and you were making me reassure me that everything's gonna be all right. And that's
absolutely.
good. So that's
Absolutely.
good that you don't know can sometimes be you don't know. That's good. Do you have anybody that you sort of looked up to on your journey that you might have aspired to uh, act, you know, according to maybe what you've seen, that you always envision these things yourself? You already had your mindset on who you wanted to be.
I, uh,
Any favorite
later,
actresses or actors?
later it came, because, you
Okay.
know, again, growing up in the 70s, we weren't on TV.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
wasn't
that's right.
right. I grew up
Not
poor, so so there was no going to the theater or going to go see live
Okay.
plays or concerts. So it was church,
Okay.
and then it was TV, you know, or a movie or something that came on TV, and so we weren't really there. So in the church, it was all of those singing sisters that just
Okay.
sang with their whole body. They just leaned their body back and just belted out. I was like, that's basically what I want to do as a singer. And then I saw how it affected other people. I didn't know until I was a little bit older that that was the Holy Spirit. I thought that those people, I was like, oh, you just sang. If you
Yeah,
sang
just
good enough,
singing.
people will
Okay.
fall out. I was like, I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna sing and just people gonna
Okay.
fall out.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
good. That's good. And you know the power was far beyond you. It was in something.
Exactly.
So that's good. That's good.
So I learned it later. I think Etta James, Gladys Knight,
Oh, those are
Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, all of those singers who really had kind of that church beginning,
yeah.
and that never really left them in the way that they deliver the
Yeah.
music and they tell their stories. It's all over the place with
That's
actors, but honestly, my mom is my biggest, like, she's my biggest superhero.
Oh, that's great.
Like
That's
hands
great.
down, my
That's
biggest
great.
superhero.
That's great.
She raised me and my sister as a single mom,
Okay.
and I didn't know until we were high school, college, that we were poor and that we were moving because we had to move we had to move. I thought we were world
Okay.
travelers. Like, you know what I mean? She did it with such class and grace,
That's wonderful.
and yeah, she's my
She didn't burden
superhero.
y'all with it, but she had a
Right.
plan, and so that's good.
Exactly.
So that
Exactly.
was one of your biggest supports, your mother,
Mhm.
and raise y'all to know and see. I wonder
Yeah.
if you'll be willing to just give us a little taste of that performance that that you think might be used to make those people fall out?
Just
I know
fall all out.
it's the Holy Spirit. We know, but He's already, giving you a gift.
Only if you give the disclaimer to the good people out there in the world that it is early in the morning. I don't know if are we live? Okay, so they know what time it
Disclaimer,
is.
y'all. We've written okay. No,
And it is very early, and Miss Knox got me singing very
I think
early.
It's already anointed, so we already know. We've already prayed. We said so. He's already anointed. All right. Okay. So
that's
and
how
we know
church
that
folks do. They'll
is-
just put the Lord on you. Just
This
okay.
is impromptu, so we know things might not go that great, but I think we all might be inspired.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Gosh, also we're in a library, so innately I'm like,
yeah, that's right.
They're like, interrupt the
Don't worry
people.
about the people in the library. They'll be inspired too. They'll be. Don't make me shout now. All right.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you do.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was, but now I'm found. I was so blind, but right now I see.
All right. Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, that was like a performance right there.
Thank
Worthy
you.
to be compensated for, but we might not have the fun.
It's coming.
That's beautiful. That's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
You were really blessed and confident in that.
Thank you.
So, how do you gain that inspiration? I know you told us about your mother, and I know your children and whoever else is in your life that helps your support group.
Yeah.
That just keeps you encouraged, and that's how what just keeps you going. What keeps you going? I know the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Listen,
I know just from what you say, how you sung.
Yeah. Yeah. I think just knowing that I have a calling, and it's a very specific and very broad calling, and I've known that since I was a little girl. And I see that calling the way I see being a child. And if your mama tell you to do something and you don't do it, you're going to get a whooping. Listen, y'all, my mama is not abusive. I know I've said whooping 3 or 4 times.
But I understand. Some of them might not understand.
Listen, for everybody out there, it's like, oh my gosh, her mom's abusive. I turned out wonderfully. I don't have issues. I turned out wonderfully because of them whoopings. But you know that if your mama tell you to do something, or your daddy or whomever tell you to do something and you don't do it, you're going to get a whooping in whatever that way that means, right? And so it feels the same way for me in my calling. So what motivates me is that I feel like I know that there are things that I'm supposed to do, places that I'm supposed to be. There are big boys and girls out there that need to see me be confident and present,
That's
so
right.
that they
That's
know
right.
that at any
That's right.
size, there are women that are 50
Okay.
and
Look at
older
it. Look
that
at it.
need to see me being out there, being
That's
confident and
good.
present.
That's right.
People who grew up like I did, eating ramen noodles and bologna sandwiches
Wow.
or mayonnaise sandwiches, they need to
Okay.
know.
Oh, mayonnaise.
Right, come on, mayonnaise
Good.
sandwich
All
or
right.
syrup
All right.
sandwiches.
So okay. Okay.
They need to know. They need to see me. So for me, what keeps me going is knowing that I have a calling.
That's right.
And if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, I'm gonna get a whooping.
That's right. Okay. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. That whipping didn't hurt so bad, did it?
Listen,
You forgot the pain of the whipping. You remember the incident, what caused it. So
absolutely,
that's good.
absolutely.
And there are several things that you said that were indicative of what I grew up during that era. You know, even with single parenting, that
Mhm.
lets you know there are stereotypes that are associated with it. But we know
Yes,
if you
yes,
put God first, we
absolutely,
know great things can come
absolutely.
from someone who stays focused. And those whippings,
They were
all right,
necessary.
those whippings were necessary. I
They
know
were
what y'all are saying now.
necessary. They were necessary.
Compare what we're going through now with these kids and how we both achieve.
Some
So
of them
okay,
need a
we have some
whooping.
questions.
Okay.
We have some people who sent in some questions. Okay, we have a Sherman. He said he loves your voice. He said you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
He said, "Will you sing while you're here this summer?"
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
July 5th. So I was at the Scat Jazz Lounge this past Saturday. So you missed that one, but I'm sorry. It's Mrs. Dipsworth leftover glitter getting in my eyelash, in my eyes.
Okay.
Sorry, y'all. I will be at the Scat Jazz Lounge again on July 5th. The tickets go very, very quick, but I have an 8 p.m. show and a 10 p.m. show on July 5th. On Saturday night, June 21st, whatever that Saturday is, I think it's the 21st, I will be at a place called The Sound. I think the whole name is like the Cypress something, but it's called The Sound. It's an outdoor sound stage in front of a big, beautiful lake. And I wish I knew the whole name of it. It's called, if you put in The Sound. So I'll be out there.
And where's it located?
I want to say it's like in the Las Colinas area.
Oh, that should be nice.
Yeah, but I mean, just a beautiful.
We'll put that down.
Yeah, so my band, the Copper Tones, will be performing out
Okay.
there. And then on Sunday, June 22nd, that same band will be performing at a place called Tolbert's, which is an indoor restaurant in Grapevine. And they have a beautiful stage there. So that's where
nice.
I'll be as of right now.
Okay.
But also, if any of you all. Okay.
Wow. Okay, and someone wants to know what projects are you working on in Chicago?
Ooh, gosh. So this is all very new, right? I just got there a year ago. I'm the director of civic engagement for Lyric Opera of Chicago, which is the second largest opera company in the country.
Okay.
So beautiful building, beautiful, just all the things. And so I'm producing actively a lot of things there as a part of my job, from panel discussions to concerts to art exhibits to like you name it, as part of that outreach arm of the company. And then outside of that, I am currently producing a event called the Black Aura. This is the second year. It'll be in Chicago the last weekend in June. Last year, which was the inaugural year, we brought in Jared Howard and Miss Opal. We flew Miss Opal down to Chicago last summer
that's nice.
for that event. So this will be the second iteration. So I'm working on that. And then just trying to find me a band.
Facebook friends who don't know who Miss Opal is, Can you enlighten us?
Yeah. Dr. Opal Lee is the grandmother of Juneteenth. She was wholly responsible for it being made a law that Juneteenth was a federal holiday.
Right.
So for those of you like me who get Juneteenth off, I'm like, thank you, Miss Opal.
Okay. All right.
Amongst
all
other
right.
things, but she's a Fort Worth native, and so she lives here.
Okay.
And so yeah, we brought her in for that. And then just trying to find a band in Chicago that fits me, so I can start performing there. Because right now I'm just a producer and an administrator, so
that's
I'm trying to.
And you're trying to connect.
Yeah.
So how do you go about finding a band? Do you advertise, or you just know people who might know people?
I don't know nobody in Chicago
But
yet.
look, just like you found things along here, you know the man who knows the people. So that's good.
You hit the nail on the head.
That's right.
You hit the nail on the head. I actually have met a few people since I've been there who have already been very instrumental in my Chicago journey. And my friend the one person I knew before I went, she worked here for a while, and then now she's there in Chicago also. Have been very instrumental in just kind of keeping me motivated. So I've met some people through them, Facebook groups, social media, like you said, it can be good, it can be bad.
That's right.
But
that's true.
if you use it right. So, and then word of mouth, like I'm just going to keep, when I'm not exhausted, going to like open mic nights and stuff and just trying to meet people. And I'm not social.
Okay.
I'm not social at all. I'm good like this.
Okay, yeah.
But
yeah, I don't.
Miss Knox.
It's overwhelming for me, social media, so they talk about me for that. But
it's me in crowds with people.
Yeah.
The people are just like, "Oh, you're so bubbly, you're so wonderful." I'm like, I don't even want to be here.
You do exemplify that type of personality that you just will fit in anywhere. And you probably saying, I want to be out of here. I want to be away.
I'm like, I just want to be at home in my pajamas with my iPad. I want to be watching Netflix, drinking my Monster.
So how did you find your band here? I know you probably knew people, but how did you, and it's the band performing here?
Yes.
They didn't, okay, so they didn't travel.
Yeah. So the Copper Tones, a friend who's an actor that I was doing shows with was friends with the band leader, and they lost their lead singer. They have already been a band.
Okay.
And they lost their lead singer, and they were like, hey, would you like to audition for to be the lead singer of this band? Which kind of made me laugh in a real horrible, this is going to sound so egotistical, and I promise I'm not like that. But I was like, audition? I wasn't like...
Hey, that's starting with baby steps all over again, okay?
Right. So I was like, oh. So I went and I did several auditions with them just to make sure it was a good fit, which was the right thing to do. But I did have a brief moment of, do they know who I am? You know. But so I went and auditioned, and we were a great fit. And I've been singing with them for 11 years.
Oh, that's
Memorial
wonderful.
Day weekend made 11 years that I've been singing with them.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So, and in my other band, at the Scat Jazz Lounge, I just put them together out of necessity a couple of years ago, and again, word of mouth, people who know people, and I reached out and they were like, "Yeah, I want to play with you." So,
okay, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
You have to find that dedicated group.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have another question. Okay, is there a mental shift you go through from your character, Miss Dipsworth, to Sheran Keyton everyday life? Sheran. This is Sherman, but I know it's Sheran.
Listen, phones autocorrect my name to Sherman all the time. I get emails saying, "Dear Sherman." I'm like, cool.
People used to wonder if I was really educated because I would write something and then all of a sudden I didn't know about that autocorrect spelling stuff.
It will make you look, it will embarrass you.
Okay.
It will embarrass you. When the camera's not rolling, I'll tell you a funny one. I can't say it in front of the people. I was like, I did not say that. That is not what I said. That is not what I said. I was like, oh, Lord. It will embarrass you. So there is a mental shift. There is a mental shift between my character, but also everything I do is there's always little parts of me in it, right?
Okay.
So my heart and my passion is really Mrs. Dipsworth. My love for kids is really Mrs. Dipsworth. If you give me a choice, I would much rather hang out with a group of children than a group of adults. Because like we get each other, like we're gonna tell each other the truth. Kids don't have filters. If your shirt is crooked, they're gonna tell you. You know, a little kid told me a couple of days ago, Mrs. Dipsworth is fat. She is. You're rude, but she is.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Well,
yeah. Right. But then an adult wouldn't tell you. They'll just let you be out here.
Right and you're fat. I mean, you're right. And she didn't have filters. Okay.
I didn't even think like that. But you're right. You're right. You are fat. And I am. And it's okay, ladies and gentlemen, because if you are fat, you also can do everything you want to do in life. Because literally, I do everything I want to do, I do it. Everything I want to do, I do it. Yes, and I know you didn't mean that. I don't agree. I'm just giving you a hard time, Miss Knox. Thank you. So are you.
Okay.
So yes, that childlike energy that like is in because I'm a very childish 50-year-old. Like, God bless whoever my husband is gonna be, because I'm like, hey, you want to jump in the bed? I'm a very childish 50-year-old. So that childlike energy that lives within me, I feed that into Mrs. Dipsworth. So it's like channeling that part of me, and then all the other characters I play. Because I play Bessie Smith, I play Etta James, I play Mahalia Jackson.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So I really just whoever. I did a one-woman show of all three of those ladies.
Okay.
But all of them have parts of them that are symbiotic to parts of me. So I just channel that and focus. And yes, it is a shift. It is a shift. And sometimes I have to turn it off. And sometimes I got to drink a Monster to turn it on. Because she's very energetic.
Woman's show that wouldn't have happened to be at the Jubilee Theater.
It was.
Okay.
It was.
So all you Facebook people, fans who don't know what the Jubilee Theater is, can you enlighten them?
Yeah, so Jubilee Theater is one of the oldest regional theaters in Texas, continuously running in Texas. I started working there when I was 17 years old. I was a student at Texas Wesleyan, and at the time, Jubilee Theater was right across the street. I went and auditioned for my then mentor, who was the founder and artistic director and creative genius behind Jubilee Theater, Mr. Rudy Eastman, who's now gone home to be with Jesus. But I stayed safely nestled underneath his wings until the day he died. At the time that he died, that was odd. Like, I wasn't there. But until the time that he passed away. And the theater was created to give a voice to African American people, while also showing that our stories are all similar, cross-culturally, cross-generationally, various religions and socioeconomic status. And I worked there throughout my teens and as a young adult, until I went off and started my own theater company. And but Jubilee Theater is still downtown Fort Worth now, and still running and going strong.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful to know that.
So that's where I got my start.
You did your 3-act show. You performed with as all those females you just said, Mahalia Jackson and.
The Mahalia Jackson was with Jubilee Theater. That was during Ed Smith. During his tenure, he was the first artistic director after Rudy Eastman passed away to take that seat. And so the Mahalia Jackson was a one-woman show produced under him. He wrote it and directed and produced it. The Bessie Smith was written, directed, produced by Rudy Eastman. And I was actually the third Bessie Smith that did that show. And then the Etta James was produced outside of Jubilee Theater. It was written, directed, produced by one of my best friends. She's also gone on to be with the Lord, playwright Diane Tucker from Dallas. And so at a point, because people kept asking for all of them, I did a culmination of it and did a 3-act called Ladies of Soul.
Oh, that's
So
wonderful.
whoever asked the question about having to shift gears,
Yeah, they must be.
imagine having about 2 minutes to rush backstage. People change you from Mahalia Jackson into Etta James while the band is playing,
Wow.
and then you rush back out and you have to go from church to
and we as the audience, we just looking at it, we don't realize what goes on. So how do you prepare yourself mentally? And you just told us about some of the physical ways you do it, somebody else's dress. How do you prepare yourself mentally for those types of changes? How do you get prepared in general for your performances?
I pray a lot. I pray a lot.
All right, that's good.
For all the things, right? For memory, because
Okay. All right.
learning lines, learning lyrics is not
Okay.
my strong point. It's not my strong suit. I'm very much a ADD adult, like real diagnosed ADD adult. So you also can do all the things adult ADDs out there. So focus, like just
Yes.
trying to stay mentally focused and connected. But I just keep reminding myself of like core pieces of their story and their lives.
Okay.
And then it keeps me connected so that I continue to be that person,
Okay.
right? I never lose sight or track in my mind of the core of who Mahalia Jackson was, how she was raised, her mom dying and just being transferred to the aunties, and what she went through trying to get to where she was, and then becoming Martin Luther King's Jr.'s right hand woman as far as like being out and being the musical part of his messaging and his ministry. So I like keep in perspective who these women are. And so every time I'm back there changing, as they're switching out my wig and changing my dress and changing my shoes, I'm standing there thinking, okay, Etta James, different story, mentally. So then when I come out, I'm Etta James. And then when I come out again, I'm Bessie Smith. She was drunk a lot. She was other stuff a lot.
Okay. That is, you have to prepare yourself mentally for that. Have you ever had that moment where you, have you ever had that moment where you missed or got them mixed up?
Yes.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say
yes. Listen,
I would just be traumatized. That would be the end of my career. But that's good.
It almost took me out. It almost took me out. I was doing Ladies of Soul at Irving Arts Center. The Irving Arts Council brought me in to do it. And I was just kind of bantering, because also I banter a lot with the audience. Like that fourth wall is non-existent to me, because if you sitting there and I see you, I'm gonna talk to you. And I was bantering as Mahalia Jackson and got all the way lost and like was this close to cussing. And like a part of it had already came out, but also I'm very quick with it. Because remember, I was the one who had to pivot at the drop of a hat to keep from getting that whooping. Like immediately as it was coming out, I said, "Oh Lord, have mercy." And I brought it back, and like the people who know me knew what was happening. They were like, "Oh my God!" But the audience did not know.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's good. You were able to pivot.
I've mixed up details. Sometimes I'll be talking through their life story, and I'll mix up a year. Or a city or a state, and I'm like, "Oh, hope nobody caught that. Hope there are no historians here."
But that's good. You know how to bounce back and keep going.
Yes. Body language. One time, I mixed up a body language, and my mother caught it because I was doing Mahalia, and I sat on my stool, but I sat as Bessie Smith, and my mama was like. And I'm thinking she's like, "Yeah, get it, baby." And then she was like, and I was like, I had to pull myself. I had to become the gospel queen again, because I was like,
"Wow, that's good. That's really good. That takes a real skill for actress." Okay. And some more questions. Someone saw you in they say you were awesome in the Harambe Festival.
"Oh,
So someone must have gone to see you there. So
Thank
that
you.
was a compliment that they
Thank you.
want
Tell
to
them
give
make sure
you.
they come again this year.
Okay.
I'm the director of entertainment for the Tarrant County Harambe Festival.
Harambe, and that's
Yeah.
another event that people in our Facebook world might not know about because I didn't know about it. I'm in on another side of town, Forest Hill, and I think it happened. I just happened to be passing down Eastbury, and I said, "What's going on?" There was a bunch of minorities, black especially, and they were having some kind of activity. So can you explain to the uh, Facebook audience what Harambe Festival is to Fort Worth?
Yeah. So Harambe is the word means unity or all come together. And Harambe festivals are held all over the country, and I'm sure all over the world, but all over the country. But the Tarrant County Harambe Festival, again, for which I'm the director of entertainment, happens the first weekend in October at the William McDonald YMCA. So all of those acres of land that surround that are filled with a kid zone, with bounce houses and face painting, a live petting zoo, and flying of I mean, just anything you can imagine. But also there are 2 live sound stages. And there's continual bands performing, and so you just have to go and look it up, Tarrant County Harambe Festival. But it's a wonderful gathering of really kind of just the celebration of Blackness, but not only the celebration of Blackness, but also just the community coming together.
Yeah.
There are, I want to say, 60 or so vendors of all kinds, from clothing to a health fair to a poetry slam. This year we're bringing in Fort Worth ISD dance troops and an art show. So it's every way that we can possibly connect the community, provide community resources, again, from a health fair, healthcare, to just fun music. It's free to the public.
That is wonderful. And when is this event?
It's the first weekend in October. So I always miss it. I think it's October 3rd and 4th or 4th and 5th. But it's the first Friday and Saturday in October. So the Friday night is a blues fest. It's blues night.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. And then the Saturday all day.
Okay. October 31st.
October 3rd and 4th.
Okay.
Friday and Saturday.
I told him I can't hear and barely can see. All right. Okay. And someone asked, I'm asking only what was sent to me.
Okay.
Could you come to visit our youth on 7/11 this year to close out Vacation Bible School at Berea Baptist Church? The kids will love you.
First of all, thank you. That is a grand compliment. So I live in Chicago now. And while I still come to Texas as much as I possibly can, again, because this community is where I grew up and raised my kids, and this is always going to be my community, I have to truncate my travels into like times when I'm doing a lot of things at once. Like I'm here for this 10-day period because Mrs. Dipsworth is touring a lot of places. So email me, Mrs. Dipsworth at yahoo.com. I will not be here on July 11th, but maybe there's something else we can look at. Mrs. Dipsworth at yahoo.com, because I'm here for the children. I'm here for Vacation Bible School, but only if y'all have that clay that you mash your hands in and then you put it in the oven and you bake it or let it dry overnight and then you paint it. If we can't do that, I ain't coming.
Okay. I'm quite sure Berea will go out specially and get
some of that.
All right. Okay. All right. It's been really, really fun speaking with you. What do you think that you might be doing anytime in the near future? Yes, sir. Think about that. Let me ask you one question.
Okay.
Think about that.
Okay.
How did your kids transition from Fort Worth to Chicago, and are they still trying to make that transition in their minds?
So my kids are adults.
Okay.
Like adults. Like I was not kidding when I said I'm old.
Okay. No,
I'm old.
We're not going to talk about age. Okay. Facebook, cut that off. We're not talking about age. She's young and she's pretty too, and talented. Okay.
So my son, hey Papa, my son is 31.
Wow. She's old. No.
I told you I'm old. I told you, people don't believe me. They see all this glitter, they're like,
I know.
listen, I'm old. But my son is 31. He lives in Austin.
Okay.
And my daughter is 24.
Oh, wow.
So she lives here in Fort Worth. So when I say I literally sought God, when my friend was like, hey, there's this opening, you should apply. I was like, girl, I'm not moving to Chicago. I don't know anybody in Chicago. All of my resources are in Texas, and get out of here. I meant that. But when I prayed about it, and prayed about it and argued back and forth, because I'm one of God's hard-headed children. He'd be like, go. I'm like, are you sure? I'd be like, dear Heavenly Father, I'm gonna need you to put your foot on my back and push me right to where I'm supposed to go, because otherwise I'll argue with you.
All right.
And so I did that, and he said, go. So my kids are here in Texas. My mom is here in Texas. So it is just me in Chicago.
Okay.
It's just me.
But he said, I got you.
He has.
Right.
He has.
Okay.
He has. So how did they handle it? They think I'm going through a midlife crisis. They think I've lost my mind. They were like, so you're going to buy a convertible, move to Chicago where you know nobody.
Okay.
And that's what you're going to do? And I'm like, yeah.
Step out on faith. Your whole life journey has been leading you in that direction.
One gigantic faith walk.
Thanks, girl.
Right.
Well, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of
you.
you. I'm
Thank
proud
you,
of
thank
your
you,
journey
thank
and
you.
everything you've gone through and everything. There's one other thing that was on your bio, and it was, you were talking about how you were chosen one of the many people who tried out for the production, and you were one of, let me get that right. You know, after more than 100,000 auditions were held, you were one of 160 acts to make it to Hollywood boot camp. Just imagine on the X Factor. Just imagine what was going through your head then. I bet you riding that just freight, that little high. You were on the high cloud then, weren't you?
I was.
You knew that you were headed, that God had a direction, and you were following in the path that He put for us.
I did. It was very exciting. It was very almost kind of overwhelming. I was excited to meet Simon Cowell. That was really cool.
That's cool.
He was actually nice to me.
That's even cooler.
Right?
He's not always
right.
He's perfectly frank, though, you know.
Right. And so it was really cool. When I got to Hollywood and we were at boot camp, it was very different. That is when I really learned that reality shows and television are not always reality. Right.
Okay. Okay.
That's when I learned some things are scripted. Like what you see are the pieces. It's very heavily produced. I'll just say that.
That's why
it's very heavily produced. But I also learned something about me. I learned that I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Okay.
And it's okay.
Okay.
I learned that sometimes people gravitate more towards a story than as much towards your story as they do your talent.
Okay.
Because that kind of stuff sells, right?
Okay.
And I'm just a very private person in those kind of ways, right? I'm not going to be airing out all of my family's dirty laundry, right?
Or entertainment.
Yes,
that's
yes.
Right.
And so I realized, some of this is the stuff that's gonna be on television, where some of us who just can sing are not, and that was cool. But it was a wonderful thing because after that, I was able to say, hey, I was actually on television on the X Factor. And it was cool.
Good.
It was fun.
Good. Well, have you had any other barriers that you think race or gender might have interfered with your gaining the leverage that you think you might need in that industry?
I think so. And again, it's that being relentless and being a fighter and just not taking no for an answer, kind of moving with this fearless, God-given faith over fear kind of mentality. But all of the things, we live in a very Beyonce kind of world, right? Aesthetically, for the music industry, for acting, for theater, mostly, right? All of the entertainment industries want someone under the age of 40, right?
Yeah,
Or
that's
under
true.
the age of 30.
That's true.
Someone thin, someone
That's true.
beautiful, someone who
That's
fits
true.
society's
Yeah,
versions of the norms and of beautiful,
That's right.
right? And so when you don't fit in that, you stay trying to knock down walls.
okay.
And then also age.
Yeah, that's
Age is a
true.
factor.
That's true.
In our current climate, ethnicity has increasingly and will increasingly become more of a factor.
It is. Oh, right. Now
Right.
it will. Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
Even more, right?
That's right.
And then being a female as a performer, no. Because
Okay.
everybody wants to see a woman get out there and do her
Okay,
thing as an
okay, that's
artist.
right.
But I'm a writer, I'm a
Okay.
director, I'm a producer,
That is
right?
wonderful.
So it's those times when I'm like constantly like, hey, that empty seat right there at the table. I mean, have you seen my resume? Right?
Okay.
And so it's harder as a woman in all of my industries to get respect, no matter
Okay.
how much work I've done. I've been
Okay.
working professionally since I was 14 years old.
Wow.
And I mean hard working,
Wow.
right? But there will always be some man, usually a European man,
Okay.
but
Okay.
always some man who will get a spot ahead of mine or above mine, or we're there together, but they're making a lot more
Oh,
money.
yeah. That's in
Right.
every industry where gender is considered.
Exactly.
Sports, theatrical, so
Everything,
in all arenas.
everything. So I think it plays a part in all of it. But I think, like I said, it motivates me more because it makes me write my own. It makes me
Okay.
fundraise for my own. It
That's
makes me
right.
create my own platforms. It makes me own my own
All
character.
right.
So once y'all find out who Miss Dipsworth really is, you have no other choice now but to pay me in order to produce her because I own her.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And so I had to just start moving differently.
That's right.
Right. And as I move differently, I also remain conscientious of other women, other people of color, other
Okay.
BIPOC creatives, other people who have great vision, great heart, but have no idea how to get it started.
Okay.
And so then I'm like, cool, that's cool. Y'all ain't gonna let me sit at y'all's table.
Okay.
I'll build my own
That's
table.
right.
And then I'll invite
I
people to my table
Okay.
who deserve a
Who've
seat at this
been
table.
rejected. That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. That is wonderful. To whom much is given, much is required. God has blessed you with great talent, and I see that you are doing a lot to feed and help other people on your journey, and
Thank
that
you.
is wonderful.
Thank
And we
you.
applaud you, and I've enjoyed interviewing you. Okay, they're trying to tell me something, and I need to know what it is.
I love it. This is good. I like being a part of people's first, by the way. This is exciting
This is
for
going to
me.
be really hard.
Okay.
It's about popular demand.
Okay.
As many people.
If it's a marriage proposal, just go on and tell them no. This is so constant. I'm like, no. I mean,
well, it's short of a marriage proposal, but it's another song.
Oh my gosh.
They would want you to sing another song before you left.
Look, do y'all have a way to do digital tips? Because do the library have a cash app?
Wait.
Does the library have
Before
a
this
cash app?
song, let me get this. Before this song,
Okay.
there were some more. Someone said, "Could you share more about DVA Production?"
I'll go quick because I don't know where we are in time. DVA Productions is my nonprofit. It's a theater company that I started back in 2008 in order to do just what I said, build my own table, produce theater that allowed me to hire people who needed an opportunity, directors who had never directed before, but they needed a safe space to do it, mess up, and me to pat them on the back and say, it's okay, we'll fix it.
Okay.
Set design, right? So I created it. Now it is moving a little more streamlined than what it used to. We used to produce full seasons of major productions. I mean, full sets and costume, like major productions. And now it does more education outreach and more individual projects.
Okay.
So DVA Productions, and I can only imagine who asked that, but DVA Productions, my cheerleaders are like, you don't talk about DVA. But DVA is my baby. It's my nonprofit. So my companies are DVA Productions is my nonprofit that focuses on theater, education, outreach, community, anything dealing with children, families, and outreach. Sheer Heaven Entertainment is my for-profit. It deals with everything on camera, film, commercial, voiceover work, anything that falls underneath that is Sheer Heaven Entertainment. And then Mrs. Dipsworth Universe LLC is everything dealing with Mrs. Dipsworth live performances, workshops for adults, Mrs. Dipsworth's television show, and her movie that I'm in the process of writing.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Some more questions.
Okay. I'll make my answers go quicker.
Okay. Oh no, you okay. Any tips for young folks to help them succeed in the entertainment world?
Don't take no for an answer.
Okay.
Find your village. Every single thing that I've done in my life and time has been because I've had a village around me of people who believed in me, and they believed in me because they saw that I believed in myself. One thing somebody never wants to do is want something more for you than you seem to want for yourself.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
And so they saw that drive. And also, to be clear, younger people and people who might be older but just starting out, there's a very distinct difference in finding your village and leveraging your resources and being opportunistic, right?
Okay.
So we also don't like those people. It's not about latching onto someone's coattail or going places with them. I want to shadow you so I can meet everybody and do my own thing, or right? Because for me, that'll never be the case, because what God has for me is for me. You can't take anything away from me. But in life in general, that's really frowned upon. But what is not frowned upon is immersing yourself in your community, from community theater to volunteering at your local library to because you just never know who you're going to meet anywhere. And once you start making your presence known and people know who you are, they know your heart, they know your goals, your dreams, your desires, they will sow seeds into you. Find those places to volunteer. I cannot overemphasize, pay your dues, volunteer. If there's some money available, take it, but volunteer, because you have to sow into a thing. You have to sow seeds in order to reap a harvest.
Okay. All right. That's good. Okay. And understood, this is another question.
Okay.
Before I get to the main thing.
Okay.
Okay. Understood maybe next year. So about you not being able to go to Berea.
Okay.
Are you busy? 7
They didn't want to give me no clay.
2025. Come taste and see with you a Berea noon lunch on us. If you can have a wait. You
listen,
have
Berea
not,
is getting all the publicity today. Berea,
you have not because you asked not.
I know that's right. I know that's right. So here's what I will do. Same email address, whoever is out there in Berea world, just reach out to me on that email address. It can be the same one, Mrs. Dipsworth at yahoo.com. I will be here that weekend. I'm not sure when I fly back to Chicago, so I don't know if I'm going to be here on the 7th, because I have to actually be looking at my calendar. But also, if it's a bacon involved, it's a bacon in something. Bacon. It's a bacon. Right. Let's talk. Let us talk. Like so yeah, come on with your free advertising. Berea was like, bring him to Jesus by any means necessary. Berea Baptist Church. I've also been there before. Just so y'all know. Okay, go ahead.
You were there when I was there over the youth. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now before the song, because someone's still requesting the song, but they said thank you, Mama Rand, for having one of my favorite actors, singers from Jubilee Theater, Sheran Keyton, on your podcast. This conversation has been most enjoyable. I hope to
great.
see her at Jubilee Theater again soon. So thank
We're going to
y'all.
pray about
And
that.
yeah, we're gonna pray about
We're going to
that.
pray about that.
And so now that
Hold on, because people are shady. I'm sorry, Miss Knox. People are shady, and they like to build in narratives where there is none. I currently live in Chicago. I come to Texas for a few days at a time to take care of my home, my mommy, and my business. Rehearsals for a theater production, for people who don't know, span 4 or 5 weeks, usually 5 to 6 days a week. So when somebody says, we hope to see you at Jubilee Theater again, that would mean me having to not be in Chicago where I live and work a full-time job as a director at an opera company, but be here for 4 or 5 weeks and every weekend for 5 or 6 weeks for performances. So I want to say, when I said we're going to pray about that, that was not shade. That was a time commitment thing.
Yeah.
So, okay.
We got you.
Back to you,
But
Ms.
then
Knox.
I guess they'll still keep hope alive. Somebody told them.
I mean, you don't know.
Nah, I know,
You
but
don't never know.
realistically, they know what they're dealing with. But now for the song, that's what they want you to give us a grand finale with any song.
Oh, okay. God.
And they probably send tips later.
Listen, I'm going to take them too, because
I know.
listen,
If you're
I'm going to
traveling
take
from
them
here
too.
to Chicago
Regularly. Regularly. We're not playing. And I'm you know, and I'm gonna stay giving to my community. So I'm always accepting love offerings. Gosh. First of all, before I sing this, let me just say you did a great job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. My first podcast, y'all. Thank you.
Yeah.
I had a great guest. God just blessed us so she be great.
So we're going to challenge all of your guests for the whole month of June and July. If y'all are preemptively watching, y'all be as gracious and amazing with Miss Knox, which you won't really have to be, because she's doing the thing. She's doing the thing. So I just wanted to tell you that I enjoyed you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sheran said. Sheran / Miss Dipsworth /
That's right.
Better James. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. If it works, yay. If it doesn't,
yay. We enjoy you.
Okay. All right. And also, my son will be so mad at me if I don't say, follow me on Instagram at Diva DFW. They get so mad at me because I don't ever. They're like, tell people what your TikTok is. I don't know what my TikTok is. My Facebook is Sheran Goodspeed Keyton. So it's all 3 names. Sheran Goodspeed Keyton is my artist page. And if I don't do that, Papa will be mad at me. So, which is my 31-year-old son. Okay, here we go. Gosh, y'all stressing me out this morning. Hold on. Okay. If I should stay, I would only be in your way. So I'll go, but I know I'll think of you every step of the way. And I will always love you. Will always love you. I will always love you. I will always love you. Yes, I'll always. Y'all, I will always. I'll always love you.
All right. Standing ovation. We got stand. Standing ovation. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Everything was nice. We enjoyed you, Miss Sheran Keyton. Y'all give it up again. And one cent for Miss Sheran. Normally you have to pay for that performance. All right. She takes tips.
I do.
Love offerings.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think someone told me that was the time. Is that the time? Did we do this whole time? Okay, good. Why do y'all do?